Hello everyone, it's Brandon here again for another video. In today's video, I'm going to give some quick thoughts, opinions, and my experiences about the topic of balance with mental health. So when it comes to mental health, one of the key things that you have to realize is that you're not going to have a linear, kind of boring, normal style life. And that's something that I've still been coming to terms with even today. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder 6 years ago, and also with generalized anxiety disorder. And that's one that I don't usually talk about because for a long time I didn't think that I had it. But anyway, so being diagnosed with mental health conditions, you're kind of presented with some different choices. You can try to go your normal path in life where, you go to college and after that, and maybe you incur some student loan debt. And then after that, you look for a job and then, you work that, and then you might find a spouse and you get married. And then, you start saving for retirement, and then you retire, and then, you enjoy that, and then you're dead. So, that's the linear path, at least in the United States. That's kind of the go-to, that's the cookie cutter build of, what you could do in life. And for a long time, I thought, growing up that that's what I was going to do. And I looked forward to it because I did really well in school. That was my strength, was school. I was an intelligent kid, and I just did well in my studies. And that was one of my best things, other than video games, online gaming like World of Warcraft and League of Legends. Other than that, I didn't really have many other hobbies and things that I really looked for because, in high school and stuff, I thought that I was just going to be an academic and that was going to be my path. And having the mental health diagnosis, I quickly realized, that things were more difficult than I thought. And they were more difficult than I thought because my studies immediately plummeted when I first went to college. And I really do attribute much of that because of the struggles that I was going through with my mental illness. And that's when, I took a semester off from school. I literally went to work at a McDonald's for a couple months. I worked on a farm baling hay, really physically demanding job. Then I started working in restaurants. Then I started serving in restaurants. And then I had someone get me into real estate, doing property management. And my path has progressed from there. But these were kind of what I would say non-linear, growth or like improvements in my life. And they happened because of my mental illness. I will be honest, I probably wouldn't have gone on this path. And I've realized that there are so many things that I've learned by going a different path. And I think that really it was what was right for me. It was, as soon as I had the mental health diagnosis, I didn't realize it at the time, but what really happened was I liked to work and do things that are immediately in front of me instead of have this lofty goal, which, isn't too lofty for most people, of going to school and becoming an academic or a professor or something. I realized that maybe right now that isn't the right thing for me. So I started working and I gained work experience, and in that realm of things, I do have pretty good experience. And I've grown a lot. I'm only 24 years old. But this video is about balance too. And I had to kind of balance the idea that I was going to be an academic. I had to realize, wait, maybe this isn't where my strengths are anymore with this mental illness. Maybe I need to go somewhere else. Another thing is I started using nicotine. When I was growing up, I thought that smoking was stupid. I thought that it was unhealthy, and there was no reason that you could ever smoke cigarettes or vape nicotine or use any products like that. Partially because I was raised as a Mormon, and I just didn't have anyone around me who used nicotine very often. I just thought that it was useless. I thought that there was no reason that someone would use that substance. And now today I vape, I smoke a cigarette occasionally with friends or whatever. And I've realized that that is another nonlinear thing. I actually have a video that talks about how for certain people, and specifically with bipolar disorder, there's a much higher percentage of users for people who have bipolar disorder compared to the general population when it comes to nicotine and also many other substances. And, you know, of course, there are some substances that are more damaging than others. Using heroin isn't generally the best decision. But maybe using nicotine is, you know, the healthiest way that you can cope with certain things that you're going through. And that's something that a lot of people don't want to accept. I've been a self-help junkie for years and years now. Ever since I was probably about 16, 17, I've been trying to improve myself deliberately, and it has worked very well. The first thing that I got into was going to the gym, and I was very extreme about that. And I did it, you know, 6 days a week for about a year almost, and I saw very good results. And then, you know, now more recently, I've been meditating and getting into spirituality and finding that there is truth and a lot of growth to be had there. Lately, I essentially threw myself into a manic episode on accident by practicing spirituality very extremely. And I started to have some real enlightenment experiences. And that's something that a lot of people around me might not really understand, because they see the change afterwards of I go into a manic episode and they think that there was nothing positive happening there. But, you know, what I'm trying to say here is when you're very extreme with something, whether it be in personal development or trying to grow yourself or even letting yourself go, those extremes, you know, there's something that for people with bipolar disorder, or at least myself, I've noticed the bipolar disorder kind of likes the extremes of life. And I've come to appreciate the extremes of life even more by having this disorder. But, you know, just something that's very important for having a stable life as a person with bipolar disorder is learning to work some, you know, things in your life that might not seem like the linear normal path and way that most people live life. Work those into your life and use them in intelligent ways. Like I was talking about nicotine. People don't understand that nicotine is a nootropic drug. Nootropics are kind of a category of supplements and different drugs that basically enhance your cognitive functioning. A lot of people in Silicon Valley are using them right now to increase their cognitive functioning and increase their ability to basically produce and be creative and be at the cutting edge of all these very competitive industries. And nicotine is just one example of this. And it's not necessarily the healthiest or least healthy that there is out there. A lot of people don't understand that nicotine doesn't even cause cancer. It's actually the smoking process itself, and it's unclear now if vaping does or not. But anyway, like I'm getting into one specific example with that. But it's like, you know, using nicotine could reduce your stress, increase your ability to perform in certain circumstances and think and remember, and it also has antidepressant effects. But like usually society will tell you nicotine is like basically always a bad thing. And you need to be very careful when you're starting to listen to absolute ideologies in anything, whether it's spirituality and God is a great thing, or nicotine's a bad thing, or alcohol's a bad thing, or, you know, always going to the bar is a bad thing, or never going to the bar is a good thing. You need to be very careful with these, especially as a person with a mental health disorder. You need to intelligently kind of integrate these different little tools and bring them to where they can build you up. Going out to the bar with your friends can be a very positive thing if you don't get shit-faced and drink too much. You can get some very good social interactions there that can help to balance out your life. But these are just a few examples. What I really want you to take away from this video is start to examine the things in your life that are extreme and ask yourself, is there a way that you could kind of work together something that is a little bit more of an intelligent use of the resources and habits that you have at your fingertips to help you to grow and to progress in a more healthy and gradual way. So yeah, that's what I want you to get out of this video. It will take a little bit of work if you actually want it to work. That's the that's the thing about life, is if you want something good, you have to put something good into it if you want something good out of it. So anyway, this is Brandon Rowe making another video. I'm going to sign off here. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video and think that you would like to see more of my content. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It helps my videos to get a little bit more exposure, so that helps me. But otherwise, I will see you guys in another video here soon. Thanks for watching.